Oh, sweet. My son came. Let's get this thing inside, get it unboxed, and check it out. Alright, let's see what's in here. Alright, we've got the Sun open here. Let's see. Canister filter, instruction manual, quiet operation, easy startup, large filtration capacity, UV lamp, both for fresh and salt water. Tells us basically how to set it all up. We're gonna try to set it up ourselves without the directions, see how that goes. Let's get us a nice thick green hose here. Let's see what else we've got. Oh yeah, the things to hang it on the side of the tank. Things that go in and out of the tank. The return and the inlet. And like just extra pieces for that other to hang it on the tank. And let's see what we got inside here. We've got the actual canister itself. I'd say all the media and everything's inside of this. Let's get it open, let's find out. I like it all kind of tucked away. And guys, this is a very inexpensive filter that you can buy for a smaller tank, like a 70, 55, 100 gallon. So this does about 525 gallons per hour. Yeah, there's trays inside of here. You just pull out each tray. Look, they give you some biomedia there in the first tray with looks like some cotton. That's going to act as your actual bio balls. It's your biological filtration along with these rings, and then this is your mechanical filtration down here to suck everything up. What is this? Kind of looks like activated carbon, which I probably won't use. But there you go, there's more mechanical filtration in the bottom with a sponge as well underneath. That's all that's in there, and that's all that was in the box as well. There's my cat, pup. Loving the box. But yeah, let's get everything back in here. Another thing you're going to want to do with these bio rings here, you do want to rinse them out. They have a type of powder in there with them. If not, that's going to get into your filter. Yeah, this is fresh. You don't want to get this stuff in your tank. It won't hurt nothing, it's just the residue off of this. But you're better off just getting out of there. All it's going to do is make your water cloudy. Alright guys, I brought everything down here to the basement. I've got the canister. I've got it all set up on the inside how I want to do it. Now what I got to do is get the hoses hooked to the returns and get that stuff taken care of. And Alright guys, so first thing you're going to want to do is get your hoses hooked up. As you can see here, I have the spray bar attachment hooked to it. I like the spray bar because you can angle both sides differently. So I can have one angled towards the surface to create surface agitation and produce oxygen. And I can also have the other pointed towards the bottom and help move the poop and debris and food towards the filter so it can filter out everything better. So the next hose that comes with it is the return hose. The return is going to be, where it sucks in all the particles and everything from the water, the poop, the food, everything I just described. It's going to get sucked in through this little strainer here. So we got the hose hooked to it. So, and I didn't know if you guys noticed on the other one, these little clamps right here, and that's kind of hard to see. These are what's going to tighten it to the back of your tank so that it doesn't fall off. This will attach it directly to the back, tighten it really tight, that way these don't move. Then lastly, as far as hooking it together, we have the part that actually hooks to the canister filter itself. So what we got to do, we have to take the filter. You can see on top it's got these little holes here. This attaches inside of this. Actually, it has an O-ring here on each side of it. So that's gonna go down in there. You're gonna wanna get that nice and snug. That way it doesn't leak. And then you take your hoses. You gotta figure out which one's the out, which one's the in. It tells you here. And then hook up the hoses. And then these actually tighten down. Instead of having like a clamp or anything on it, these actually tighten down on the hose and secure the hoses in place. Again, these are kind of difficult to get on here, but once you get them on, they're very hard to get off. So let's get all this tightened down and let's get it on the. So obviously guys, there's nothing under the tank here. This is the perfect place for our canister filter. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna place it right under here. Just get it in there. Canisters, I mean, they don't really matter if they're that level. I mean, obviously it'll help filter better if it is. This floor here is fairly level, so we're not gonna mess with it too much. But let's get the hoses hooked up top and we'll get this thing running. I got the filter hooked up underneath here. I've got all the plumbing in, all the returns, and the spray bar is hooked up. So let's see if we can get this baby fired up. Alright guys, to get this thing going, normally it has a prime button on it that you can pump and get the water to go. I was just trying to do it and it won't pump the water down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cup, I'm going to fill up the bottom with the water, fill it all the way up, and then that way we can already have some water inside of it. That way we don't burn up the filter. Alright guys, to get it primed and get it going, all you have to do is pump this little lever on top, or button I would say. It's a big blue button. Basically, you want to push it until the inflow hose fills with water. Once it does, you plug up the filter and it starts. Right now it is running, the surface skimmer is going, and it's running 100%. It's looking good. So let's let it clear up for a little while and see what it does. Hey guys, while the 75 is clearing up with the new filter, I was just going to tell you, I'm sure you guys noticed that there wasn't a bunch of fish in the 75. Don't worry, you know, no one died or anything. I just got to looking at them and I realized that they were big enough to go in the tank in the 480 with the rest of the fish. So I took them and put them in the 480 the other day. It's better for them. You know, that 75 was too cramped, so I went ahead and put them in the 480. Again, that will be temporary too. I have way too many fish in the 480 now, but it was still better to have them in that rather than that 75. A couple of them were having trouble turning around and everything. The only one I didn't take out of there was the Zebrina pike, and that's because the other Zebrina pike tries to kill it. So I didn't want to risk losing a fish. I'm actually probably going to have to put the flagtail back in too, as one of my Azules is beating on it really bad, tearing his fins up. So I'm probably going to put him back as well. But let me show you the disaster that we had the other day, and let me explain that to you. So everybody, here's the disaster we had. No, it didn't explode, it didn't crack, it didn't do anything like that, but it did leak on the seam in the very back, and it leaked on the seam up here in the corner. I've only had this tank for 2 years, I bought it brand new. So what I'm gonna try to do is get a manufacturer's defect warranty done with it. I've already talked to the place I bought it from. They're gonna send in all the paperwork for me. but if not, I may be having to reseal my tank. I hate doing that. I've done it before. It's not fun, but it's educational. If I do have to do it, you guys will learn how to do it as well. Another thing, the 125, we did finish the bracing and everything on it, and we got it to where it'll hold up the tank no problem. But I test filled this tank 3 weeks ago, right when I bought this, and it held water. I filled it up, got about 3 or 4 inches in it, and it started leaking from the front. So I had this tank leaking, which I was like, okay, that's all right. You know, I'm mad, but we'll fix this. It's not a big deal. We will put them in the 125. So I take a couple hours. I finish bracing the tank stand. I fix everything to where it'll, you know, it's functional. And I start filling it up, and it starts leaking. The 75 was never supposed to be a temporary place for these fish. It was supposed to be a step up for my guys in the 55 gallon over there, just as a stepping stone to go, and then they would have come to the 125, and then to the 270, and then to the 480, and then to the 1200. But that's not how things decided to work out. So I'm gonna have to either reseal this, reseal it, not resell it, I'm sorry, I might resell it and just buy one that works to save me some effort so I don't have to reseal 2 tanks. But this is where I'm at right now. I'll keep you guys posted on the 270, see what they're gonna do for me. Worst comes to worst, I'm gonna have to reseal it. But let's get back over the 75 and see if it's cleared up. It's clearing up pretty nice. We'll give it a little while. After a water change, it's always usually pretty murky. So we'll see how this new filter does. I'll check it here in a day or two. On the next video, I'll do an update on it. To end the video, just wanted to show you guys the 480 with all the fish in it. It's a little bit crowded, but could be a lot worse. Again, thank you guys for stopping by. If you can, like, share, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next video.